Before I start this video, I've seen online that the second episode was accidentally released and was then quickly taken down, but I wanted to share that I haven't seen episode 2. The theories in this video on what I think could happen in the next episode is based on what occurred in episode 1 and the premiere that we got on Friday. So if anybody did see what happened in episode 2, then please refrain from spoiling the episode. Thanks. With the season premiere of Silo returning with a real thought-provoking piece of television, with it being focused around Jules losing her memory 3 months after she returned to the silo, and us all getting a glimpse into what could be 300 years in the past. It feels like this next episode could be set to focus even more on how the world ended up in that situation. So with that, I wanted to share my theories and predictions on what I think could happen when the show returns. So let's get into it. Here is Silo Season 3 Episode 2 Theories Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers on Silo up until Season 3 Episode 1. Who sent Jules the message? With us finding out in the premiere that Jules couldn't remember anything from her time in Silo 17, her conversation with Bernard before the fire occurred, or also anything about the state of the outside world. It turned out that she was actually having capsules filled with medication that suppressed her memory being given to her disguised as vitamins. This was because the algorithm didn't want Jules to spread any kind of positivity amongst the people or hope that the outside world was safe, because it had the potential to spark up a rebellion. With Jules believing that she had a wider purpose and also having flashbacks and dreams to what actually occurred, she wanted to find out more information, and she was now being faced with the opportunity to find out more due to receiving a note. The main question surrounding this though is, who sent her the note? Well, I think there are 3 different people that might have sent it to her. The first is Lucas Kyle. Lucas Kyle was perceived to be missing by Sims and Camille, and he was also presumed to be dead as he hadn't been seen in months. However, I think after being exposed to the truth and the wider information, he might have reached out to Jules after realizing that she was now back. I'd almost love to see the synonymous video clip of the outside world being played and the cycle almost beginning again. I don't think there's a chance that Lucas Kyle is actually dead, and I believe he's only missing because he doesn't want to be found. So I think there's a chance that he could show himself to be the person that's looking to help Jules. Under normal circumstances, I'd say that somebody like Shirley would be reaching out to Jules and looking to help her. However, seeing as though one of her best friends is quite literally giving her the silent treatment and is acting annoyed with her for no reason whatsoever, it definitely wouldn't be her. Unless the way that she acted was all a front, but I don't think that's the case at all, as she genuinely did cry into Knox's arms. This leaves 2 more people in my mind. Paddy Kennedy is one of them as well. With Paddy Kennedy essentially picking up the mantle from Jules and trying to get everybody to believe that the display is a lie. With him being another person that's perceived to be missing, just like Lucas Kyle, I think he could just be keeping himself hidden. His group of followers called the Outsiders broke into IT and stole a helmet in the premiere, so it does make me question if they're looking to set up an operation or a mission to make it outside themselves. Part of the synopsis is Billings investigates a disappearance, so I do wonder if it could either be Lucas Kyle or Paddy Kennedy. It seems like they might get a focus. The final person that could have sent Jules the note is Martha. We didn't get a single appearance of Martha in the premiere of Season 3, so this makes me wonder if the show has held it back because the appearance that she could have in the next episode is one that could be of importance. She is a character that over time has given Jules advice and has looked out for her, and with her branching outside of her apartment in the previous season and also having that conversation with Bernard, that could have enabled her to have got the message to where it needed to be. She's a trustworthy figure to Jules, and a conversation with her could end up causing memories to spark right back up. What is the cloud in the sky? One of the biggest mysteries in the show, other than how the silos got built and why they were adopted, is now based around the mysterious cloud that was 50,000 feet up in the air where no cloud should be during the season premiere. It was unexpected, and Charles, along with 3 other pilots, were caught out by it. It caused their planes to come crashing down, and it almost caused the control panel on the jets to begin to melt and turn into this goo that she could actually touch. With Charles being the only person that survived out of the 4, and after being admitted to the Heidi Stenson facility after not remembering anything that occurred, it feels like what she saw was almost deliberately designed to make sure that she didn't remember what happened. The cloud is something that I feel is going to be delved into a little bit more over the coming episodes. Maybe not to its full potential just yet, but the seeds of the mystery have been planted, so it almost has to be touched on. We know that Iran created what was called a dirty bomb, which impacted the United States, as there was a new normal that was now in place, but it now also makes me wonder if what Charles and the group flew through was a different piece of technology that Iran had been developing and almost housing at a level that couldn't be located. It seems like its sole intention was to cause disruption and destruction, so I feel we could see that being developed more and looked into in the next episode. There have been theories going round about some kind of alien intervention, which would ultimately take the show in a completely different direction, and that could be a twist that actually caused the people to end up inside of the silos. However, I don't think that's the case. Is Daniel Keene the algorithm? In the most recent episode, we heard through Ed Harwood and his analysis of the age of the tunnels and pipes running through the silo that it was most likely built around 300 years ago. So this most likely puts the time frame and timeline of the scenes that we're seeing alongside the ones in the silo at around 300 years ago. Congressman Daniel Keene got a heavy focus in the Season 2 finale and also in the Season 3 premiere, and there was also a large importance placed around him wanting to be put on the Iran committee from his sister, who was aware of the conflict that was on the horizon before her accident. With him being a congressman and somebody that's looking to be involved in the decision making on the conflict that's brewing with Iran, it makes me wonder if he's eventually going to be somebody that has a large role to play when it comes to the creation of the silos. We know that there are 51 silos that are out there, one for each state that's in the United States of America and also one for the District of Washington DC where the decisions all get made. If he doesn't get onto the committee, then I don't think he'd make the cut and he'd end up being somebody that might well have perished due to whatever that it is that went down. I have a feeling that he's going to get onto the committee, and I reckon that Daniel Keene is going to be somebody that could end up suggesting that the silos are what gets created. He could well be one of the people that created the pack that was developed by the founders, which means he's going to be somebody that's going to have a large amount of importance in the long run. There were theories going round at the end of the previous episode that the algorithm that Camille was speaking to at the end, which told her to up the dosage of the memory suppression medication to Jules, actually sounded like him, and it kinda did. So I wonder if we could end up seeing the algorithm being something that ends up being based on Daniel Keene. Paddy Kennedy's crew. With us only hearing about Patrick Kennedy's disappearance in passing, and us seeing his crew of people called the Outsiders causing chaos whilst covering their faces with masks, they ultimately broke into IT and stole a helmet. There was one member of the crew that ended up being injured and might well have a broken wrist, so it seems like the Raiders might go on the offensive and look to question any female that has an injured wrist. The message that Kennedy is looking to spread is the very one that dates back to recent history with Jane Carmody's cleaning footage. This does have the potential to spark up a rebellion again if it's not contained, so it'll be interesting to see what comes of the Outsiders and if their message lands with any real impact. Are they looking to build their own suit and go outside themselves, hence the stealing of the helmet? For now, these are the main theories that I have for the next episode, with it seeming like Billings is also going to be investigating the disappearance of Paddy Kennedy or Lucas Kyle. He seems to be on the fence about being on the committee and also the trustworthy nature of Sims and Camille. So I reckon we'll see him starting to waver in his loyalty as well. I do also wonder if Sims is going to grow distant from his wife because it does very much seem like the algorithm trusts her more than it does him. And ever since he was told at the end of the Season 3 finale that he needed to leave the room, I wonder if he's going to feel undermined by her, just like he always did by Bernard. So, there you have it, Silo Season 3 Episode 2 Theories Explained.